Tamara Bennett with Southern Adoornments Decor, and we're going to be painting a patriotic owl here in a moment. We're going to be painting this adorable little patriotic owl. This is the etched door hanger blank from my shop. If you're not sure what etched means, this side is etched, this side is not etched. So it means that the design is laser carved into the surface so that you can just do paint by number. So, okay. We are also going to be using a stencil that is available in my shop. It's a stars stencil. We also have the stencil cut file if you like to make your own stencils, so you can grab that. But the colors that I plan on using are Decor True Blue, Canyon Orange, Foliage Green, True Red, and Light Buttermilk, and of course black and white. But those are the colors that we're planning on using. Okay, I didn't miss any questions, did I? All right, let's go ahead and get started. And I think we're gonna just begin by painting all of the areas of him blue that are supposed to be blue, and then we'll paint other things next. But this true blue is so pretty. I'm kind of ready for summertime, patriotic things, all of that kind of stuff. So that's why we're painting this today. And sometimes you may see me paint directly over the etched lines in the door hanger. That's totally okay. You can still see the lines when you do that. I'm just using a flat tip brush, and I'm spreading this True Blue. I started to say brilliant blue. It's True Blue all over the little owl's face. I'm going to try to avoid the mouth area, because that area is going to be orange, and orange will not paint over blue very well. Did you guys see the little sunflower painting video that I posted the other day? Did you like that? I kind of sped it up and then did a voiceover where I talked over the video explaining what I was doing, and someone said, I love this. She said, I've got the attention span of a squirrel, and she said watching your little speedy video really helped. So she said she was able to, watch it, and it was only like 3 minutes long. She could get the whole gist of the technique and then move on. And so I may try to do more of those here and there for you guys. If you enjoyed that, let me know. Sunflowers are a good summer style door hanger because they go like all the way from summer into fall. I'm sure I could probably figure out how to get it out, but I hate getting laundry stains out. That's just one of the things that's like my least favorite chore. I don't know what it is about it, but I would rather take a beating than have to try to get laundry stains out. You know what I just did too? I just realized I just painted the belly of this bird blue, and it was not supposed to be blue. Whoops, it's okay. The color we're going to paint the belly, we'll paint right over this blue. But that is not supposed to be blue. So I'm just going to smear all that out as best I can so that there's no thick clumps of blue anywhere there. The belly of the bird is going to be buttercream, like this buttermilk, light buttermilk. That's what I get for not having my photo pulled up. Usually I have a photo of the finished design pulled up so that I remember what I wanted to paint, the plan, so to speak. And I forgot to have that pulled up for you guys before I got started. So, okay, I think, let's see. Nope, I missed part of his wing over here. I may have to open up the photo so I don't mess up anything else here in a minute. And then this area is blue. Sometimes it just helps to have a picture handy so you're not guessing at what's what. Okay, all that's blue. Let's go ahead and dry it. All right, so now I'm going to switch to the light buttermilk. And let's see. I'll switch brushes too. Get a slightly smaller one. This is a flat tip, but a little bit smaller. We're going to take this light buttermilk and we're going to put it right here on the belly of the bird. And it's probably going to take a couple of coats, especially since I started to paint the belly of the bird blue first before paying attention to what I was doing. Oh well. It happens sometimes. If you hear my kids, they're in the room right behind this one, behind the camera actually, and their cousin is spending the night tonight, and so they're in there having a big old time with him. They've been missing each other quite a bit, so we had him over to spend the night tonight. Some rowdy boys. Charlie is taking a nap though, so we may not see her today coming in here unless she wakes up from her nap and comes in here, but I put her down right before the video. Let's go ahead and dry this between coats, because if you notice when your paint is still wet, if you keep brushing it with your paintbrush, it'll start pushing the paint around and you won't get a nice even coat. So it's better to dry than do your second coat. It did cover the blue pretty well, but we still need a second coat. It's I can still see the blue kind of peeking through there, so. Okay, I think 2 coats will probably be enough. It's looking really like it's covering really well. And I'm not worrying about the little feet down here, so that's why, whoops, just see what I just did? I just dropped a little bit of cream paint right on his little forehead. So I'm gonna get my baby wipe out and see if I can get that off rather than painting over it. Some of it's coming up, but I may still have to put a little bit of blue there so that it's not so noticeable. Oh well. If you'll notice, yeah, I was just kind of sweeping it across the feet down here too. That's because the feet are going to be orange, and the orange will cover the buttermilk paint pretty easily. And so rather than paint around them, I just paint right over the edges of them and just keep going. It's faster that way. So some of you guys had been asking me when Painters Clubhouse will reopen. That is my painting membership where I teach you how to paint door hangers every month. We just closed the doors back in April. We opened for the spring. And I told you guys that we were going to open again in the fall, but we've moved it up a month. Usually we open in September, but we've decided this time to open at the end of August instead. So we'll have an opening in August, and then we won't open again until springtime of 2021. So if you're interested in learning how to paint door hangers and learning different techniques and things, you can get on the wait list. Go to paintersclubhouse.com and get your name on the wait list so that you'll be notified in August when we reopen. We're going to let that dry for a moment. Let's go ahead and skip up here to the hat. Let me find my white. And we'll go ahead and paint the hat white so it can be drying, because we're going to stencil some stars on it here in a bit. I'm going to actually switch to a larger brush also. If you've got a large area like this to paint, it's always better to use a larger brush if you can. It will keep you from having as many brush strokes, and it'll be faster. And this paintbrush still had a little bit of blue paint stubbornly stuck in it, so I was trying to get all that out. Okay, get your white. And then just do long strokes. The band around this hat is going to be black, but rather than paint around it, I'll probably just paint right over it with the white and then paint over the white with the black. And I do like to put plenty of paint on top of those etched lines so that the paint goes down into the lines. I like for the paint to fill the lines. It makes it kind of makes them disappear a little bit better when the paint is dry. You don't notice them after the project is completely painted as much if you have the paint kind of pressed into the lines. You can still just barely see them so that you have them as a guide there for when you're painting the other details, but they're less noticeable if you push the paint down into them. So that's what I'm doing here. You just wiggle, wiggle, go all different directions till you get the paint down in those lines. Just fill it in. And then once you've got it coated, do some longer strokes to smooth out your brush strokes. What brand of paint pens do you use, and where can you purchase them? I'm glad that you asked. I do have that in the link as well. If you've already said the word link and send it to your Facebook Messenger, you'll find a link in there to my Amazon affiliate shop. When you go on over there, that's not stuff I technically sell. It's just some of my favorite Amazon products collected in one place. And I have them put in categories, and so my favorite craft products are all in one category. And I think it says craft products and painting supplies or something like that. And it's in that category. It comes with 6 different pens in black and white, but you get 3 different colors. So 3 black and 3 white, 3 different colors. Where can you order paint from? I would say Hobby Lobby, Michael's. Amazon might even have some. It just depends on if they're still sold out. For a while they were because of Corona. So, but I know like Michael's and places like that do curbside pickup if you can't go in a store. Okay, we're gonna let that dry. And we're gonna go ahead and, I forgot while I had my white out, I might as well go ahead and paint his eyes, because the whites of his eyes are gonna be this color. And we're gonna make him have green eyes also. So I'm just filling this whole area in white, and then we'll do like a little strip of green and then a strip of black to make the pupil. I got kind of wild and got outside the lines, but that's okay. We'll fix it later. I'm just putting my brush right there in the corner and then just dragging the paint up and out of that corner so that I get a nice tight little line right in the corner there. So just drag your brush up and out. Do the same thing in this corner. Place it in the corner, then pull and drag it out. That's why I really love the flat tip brushes, because it allows you to do that really easily. I think this part of the flag is white also, since it's got, you know, white with red stripes. So I'm going to go ahead and paint that white. And it can be drying also. There we go. I think that's all that's going to be white for right now. We can go down here and paint the feet and the little beak next. And this is the Canyon Orange color that I love. It covers really well. Okay, this is the Canyon Orange. We're just going to paint this area here. It covers pretty well. You can see the buttermilk underneath it, but I think once we get the second coat, you won't be able to see that. So I might have fibbed a little bit on how well this orange would cover the buttermilk. I forgot about the fact that it does cover well, but you can tell a difference where the buttermilk is there and where it's just plain wood. That's okay. We're gonna manage, even if we have to do 2 or 3 coats. You will learn from my mistakes. And then come up and paint the beak. There's a couple spots where I accidentally got over the line with my blue. And so you can see that it's not covering as well there. But I think once we use, you know, the Posca paint pens and do some details to the mouth, it's going to cover up those little imperfections. So I'm not too worried about it. There we go. We're gonna let that dry. Actually, let's go ahead and speed it up. I didn't know Decor reopened. That's exciting, Lisa. I'm ready. I need to order some paint from them. Maybe I need to go ahead and place an order. I do get my paint directly from Decor, since I'm in their Helping Artists program. Yep, it's going to take 3 coats of orange. So, whoops. It's okay. Learn from my mistakes. Have you guys done a lot of painting lately? Did you see the welcome sign that I painted for my mama? We do have the welcome letters in the shop for that. If you want 3-dimensional letters, or if you want the template to cut your own 3D letters, you can. Some people usually just paint their own letters on the welcome porch signs. But I love the 3D letter look, so that's what I usually do. I just glue them on. I'm not so sure if he looks a little bit much like an owl. So to me, he kind of looks like a bluebird, but I don't know. He kind of looks a little bit like an owl too. Whatever you want to call him, it don't matter. He's still cute. I love his chubby little cheeks. That's my favorite part. I'm a sucker for chubby cheeks. My middle child has cute little chubby cheeks, and every time he comes around me and starts talking to me, I just want to pinch him. He thinks I'm crazy. Let's do a third coat real quick on these little feet. Smooth that out. Okay, we're done with the orange. I think I want to do a quick second coat on the white though, just so it's nice and bright. It covered pretty well the first time, but it's not as bright as I want it to be. I ran out of peony pink and festive green. I think there's another one. I need to just make a list of the colors that I need to get more of. I think I'm running pretty low on white too. This is like my last bottle of white. Second coat on the eyes. Oh, there's a paint booger. Hang on. I need some more white. He could be a Jayhawk. I don't know my sports teams very well. You could probably use him too if you wanted to like figure out a way to draw him without the hat. Just maybe round out his head a little bit. He could be a really cute, and take off the little flag. He could just be a cute little springtime bird also. Looks like UK Wildcats. Yep. What shade of orange? This is called Canyon Orange. Canyon Orange. Oh, I forgot to grab a gray also. So we're going to use this gray sky color for the pole of the little flag. Let's see. I need a small brush. I'm going to use this one. It's a little flat tip brush. A little bit smaller than the other ones I've been using. We're just going to paint the little pole here. He looks like he's going to the parade. There we go. I'm going to take this blue and just straight fix up a couple spots that need a touch up. Okay, I knew I missed a spot right over here. The tip of the wing. Oh, and I need to get just, let's see, are we done with the blue? I think we are done with the blue. Let's get just a little bit of black and make a navy, and we're going to use that like on the flag and stuff. I'm just going to put one single drop in my blue. Single drop of black into the blue and see how dark that is. I think we need one more drop. You have to really go careful with it or it will overpower everything. All right, 2 drops of black in my blue. Okay, that looks about right. Let me wipe my brush off here before I get it all over me. And then we're going to use this navy color of blue on the flag. Okay, that looks good. I kind of think I want to do just a little bit of shading on his cheeks too. Let me get out my angle tip brush, and I'm going to use just a tiny bit of this navy around the outer parts of his cheeks and see what that looks like. I'm keeping my brush wet and just getting the tip of my angle brush in the navy, and then we're just going to sweep it around to create a little bit of depth. Let's do a little bit along the bottom of his cheeks too. Looks pretty good. Maybe a little bit right in here. This is kind of his neck. There we go. And we'll do a little bit around the outside part of this cheek. Oh, I need a little bit more water. And a little bit on the bottom part of this cheek. The good thing about the shading on this is that this navy is not a whole lot darker than the regular blue that we're using. And so it's not a real strong shading. Whoops. Just don't get it over on your buttermilk color. There we go. And we'll do some on the bottom of these wingtips also. I'm getting better at shading, y'all. Are you proud? Do some up next to the body here too. It's a really subtle difference. I think I need to thin that out just a little bit. It's a little bit dark. Okay, let's see. Might do a little bit. Once you start though, it's hard to stop. It's like, oh, where else? Put a little bit up here under the hat. Just a little bit on this side. Do a little bit on the outside parts of these little cheek feathers too. There we go. All right, I'm gonna stop right now while I'm ahead. I've got a spot right here that I'll smooth out a little bit. Okay, let me show you guys what we got going on so far. So see how the shading made just a little bit of difference with the navy and the blue? And it's not perfect. Like when you get up close, it's definitely a little messy, but from right here, it looks really cool, huh? Let's get a flat tip brush and we're gonna paint the bill of the hat. Well, hang on. No. We're gonna wait. And the reason is because we're gonna stencil on our stars first. And by stenciling on the stars first, that will make it so that if we have one star kind of going half behind the band of the hat, then it won't matter. Okay. My star stencil is a little bit big for this project, but I think it'll be fine. So I'm just gonna I might randomly put the stars on here, kind of halfway going off and halfway going on. And I'm using a little makeup sponge, and I'm gonna use the color True Red. We'll do some of the stars in red and some of them in the navy. So I'm gonna dab in there, and then just make sure to dab off like that as much of the paint as you can. I'm doing it on the inside of the egg carton. And then we're just gonna hold our stencil with our hands and then just quickly up and down, really thin. Like you don't want your paint getting up underneath your stencil. So really thin, we're gonna put this layer on. And it's almost dry instantly. So I'm gonna get a little bit more. Dab, dab, dab. And I'm gonna dab it on just a little bit more so that it's more red because it was a little bit thin. Just go as quickly as you can there. Now let's do another one down. Let's see, this is the hat band. I may do one down here on the brim of the hat. And it doesn't matter if my paint gets over on that band because we're going to paint that band black in a bit. So with the red, I'm going to have to do 2 coats of the red just so that it's nice and red and not pinkish looking. There we go. Let's see. I may need a second makeup sponge. Let me get another one. And then we're going to do some in navy. So I'm going to get that navy, dab it off a little bit. And then, let's see. I'm going to pick up my stencil. Oops. See, I've got a little boo-boo there. My white paint lifted up just a little bit. And I think that's because the original coat of paint was not dry enough. So let's give it a real good drying first. Or you can just buy the stencil and have it shipped to you. Yes, this stencil is in my shop, Deetra. Okay, let's do a couple of navy stars. Let's see. I'm going to position this kind of like that. Get some navy, dab it off, and we'll do one kind of right here. But I am going to make this one kind of go halfway on and halfway off. So let me get a piece of paper so that I can kind of block it from getting all over everything. Okay, and I'm going to use the straight flat edge to cover up, because the hat, this is like the top of the hat. I don't want it to go all the way overlapping. So I'm just going to do this right here and hold that paper there to kind of block the paint. To make that star. So now if I move my paper, move the stencil, see how that star is going half on and half off the hat. So now we can do a red one over here. Let's see. I'm gonna make this one kind of coming down from the top, just like the other side. Switch back to my other sponge, get some more red. Dab off as much as you can. May have to dab it off on a piece of paper too if it's too much. And then we're just gonna sponge that on there. Stenciling is so fun. It's so like quick and satisfying. Okay, I think I got that thick enough. It doesn't need a second coat. All right, and now let's do a navy star down here on the brim. Let's see. I may make this one look like it's coming up from the bottom part of the hat. So I'm gonna use my paper on the bottom side. Even though the bird is blue right there, I still don't want to get that navy all over the place. So I'm just gonna block it with a piece of paper. Get a little bit of this navy, dab off the excess on a scrap piece of paper, and then stencil on this star. Preferably, I might want my stars just a little bit smaller than this, but since this is the only stencil I had, we're just gonna use it. Now let's make one look like it's coming out from underneath the hat band, which may be a little bit tricky, because I'm going to have to use my paper to cover up. Well, no, I don't have to do that. Never mind. I was forgetting the hat band is going to be black, so I don't have to cover that part up. But I do have to cover the bottom part of this little corner of the star up. Do a little bit of red paint. And dab it off. Whoop! I almost made a big mess, y'all. Thankfully, it landed on the star that I was stenciling on. I'm clumsy, so gotta look out for me. Okay, that one's messy, but remember, we're painting this black, so that doesn't matter. So let's do a navy one, kind of going halfway on and off this edge here. I still had quite a bit of navy paint on the dauber there, so that one was easy. Okay, now let's do some on this part, because this is going to be black, but this is the main front part of the hat. So I'm going to get some bigger, let's see, we need a navy one right in here. I'm going to kind of turn my stars just a little bit so they're angled a little differently. Get a little bit of navy paint, dab it off. Sorry if I'm missing questions, y'all. I will go back through the comments later and catch up on any of them that I might have missed. But y'all feel free to just have your own little conversation up there. Stenciling kind of requires my attention. Okay, I'm going to pick that one up. Let's do a red one right here. I'm going to try to make it take up most of the space. Actually, let me spread them just a little wider. Dab off the excess. I've got a scrap piece of paper up there, and I'm just dabbing it off. Okay, that one's going to need a kind of a second coat. Let me pick up a little bit more paint. It was looking a little bit pinkish instead of reddish. There we go. Pick it up. Ah! I goofed up right there. We'll have to cover that in a minute. All right, one more. Let's do a navy one right here. Let's see. We'll do it. Let me think how I want this. I want this one to be kind of big, so I just don't want it to be touching the red one. So we'll do it kind of like that. There we go. Okay. Take my stencil up, set it aside. And now let me get a little bitty brush and fix this little spot right here where I have some white that got red on it right here. May have to dry that real quick. Okay, Sandy says, do you have any tips, tricks, or advice to keep the 1/4 inch staples from coming through the door hanger? Sandy, I had in the past, when I was using Revolution ply, rigged my staple gun so that it created a buffer between the staple gun and the wood. I have a whole video about that. I can link to your comment after this video is over, but you can find it in my IGTV videos quickly. And I show how I modified my staple gun. Okay, so did you guys see how I fixed this little spot right here where I accidentally got some red paint? I didn't take a gob of white and gob right over it, because gobby paint is gonna dry gobby. You like that word, gobby? I did like 5 coats of white really thin, and I just hit it with a hairdryer, did a quick little coat, hit it with the dryer, and I just, like 5 coats of white paint. You can't even see that little mistake anymore. But you have to do them really thin, otherwise you'll have like this weird spot that's been obviously patched and it won't look right. Okay, let's get, hang on, I got water all over my brush, some black, and we're gonna color or paint our hat band black. And we're gonna cover up the area where the little stars overlapped. So let me put my brush in the corner of that hat band and just drag it on out. And you guys probably can't see it from where you're sitting or from the camera angle, but I can still see my laser etched lines. And so I'm just following right along those. I'm not like freehanding this. I'm just following the lines. Try to get as little paint on your brush as possible when you're going along an edge like this, if you want a nice smooth edge without the paint ridge. Lots of you guys have told me before you struggle with having like a paint ridge when you paint. And that is why. It's because you've got too much paint on your brush and it's not smoothing out properly. So if you know you've got too much paint on your brush, either try to put it back in the egg carton or just kind of smooth it out right there in the middle of the area, and then proceed to go up along the edge. Okay, that looks much better. Now, let's see, what else? Let's do the little green parts of his eyes. This is the foliage green color. We're just gonna take a little round tip brush, or actually no, I'm gonna use this little filbert tip brush. It's pretty small. And get the green, and we're just gonna create an iris part of the eye. Right along there. And then we'll go and fill in this area here with black. And again, I'm not freehanding this. I'm just tracing right on top of those laser etched lines. I am actually making it just a wee bit wider than the laser etched lines, but I'm using those as a guide to get the perfect little curved arch. There we go. And let's dry that because it needs a second coat. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to rinse that brush, and I may use this same brush to do the black part of the eye. So getting it, and we're just going to fill in this area here. There we go. Let's just smooth it out. And then we'll do the same thing over here. If you have a tendency to put your arm in the paint like I do, make sure your paint is nice and dry. Otherwise, I would have the paint all over my leopard print sleeve here. But thankfully, I've dried this thing quite a bit while we were talking, and I'm not getting any on my sleeves or my arm. And then once you get it on your sleeve or your arm, you have a tendency to like spread it and touch other places, and then it's all over the door hanger where you don't want it. we're gonna go ahead and do our little red stripes. I'm gonna go ahead because I'm on a roll with this little dude and use this little, I thought it was a filbert tip brush, but now that I'm looking, it might be just a tiny flat tip brush. It's very small. I'm gonna get some red and we're just gonna do some stripes on our flag right here. I'm just gonna use the width of the brush as my guide. Some of my stripes may be waving because I'm not doing a very good job at keeping it nice and straight. There we go. Looks pretty good. And instead of painting stars all over that, I may just take the opposite end of a paintbrush and get a little bit of white, and we'll just do some cute little dots. Just like that. It's coming along, y'all. Okay, let's see what else we need to do. I think we just need to go through and add our little, oh, I wanted to do little polka dots in his belly. So I'm gonna get a little sponge daughter here. And I do sell these in my shop. They come with a pack of 20 of them. Like you see here in 1, 2, 4 different sizes. I'm using the second smallest size. There's 5 of each size in here. So it's a pack of 20 brushes for $12.99. I'm using the green size, which is roughly 3/4 of an inch. I'm just going to dip it in the white, scrape off the extra, and we're just going to do some cute little polka dots on the owl's belly. Now, yes, you will have the little bubbles in the dots, but if you give it a little blow like that, the bubbles will pop. It might still have a slight textured look to it, but I'm not worried about that. I never worry about that kind of stuff because whoever buys it is going to enjoy it regardless of whether it's got tiny little bubbles in the dots. Nobody has ever said a word to me about bubbles in the polka dots. Okay, we're just going to use our paper to do some half on and half off here. Let's see. Let's do one there. We'll do one down here. And then we'll do another one over here. Okay, looks pretty good. And then let's dry that so we don't mess it up. Okay, now that my dots are dry, can I show you up close how they have a slight little bit of texture to them? Let's see. I can't seem to see if I'm showing you or not. Okay, there we go. See, they've got just a little bit of texture to them, but it doesn't matter. He's still really cute. Okay, so let's finish him up using some Posca paint pens. So remember I talked to you about the set of paint pens that's in my Amazon affiliate shop? It comes with these pens here. I'm missing one. Which one am I missing? It's the middle size. So I'm missing one of my white ones. It's somewhere around here. But you get 2 of the jumbo, black and white, 2 of the middle size, black and white, and then 2 of the really small ones. Oh, that's a silver one. And then 2 of the really fine point ones. So we're going to be using the jumbo black and white, or black one right now. I'm going to get my piece of paper over here and test it by kind of pumping the pen a little bit. And then just take it and kind of do a little wiggle mark to make sure you're getting, you know, good flow. And then you're going to take it and you're just going to outline your design. This is the jumbo size. And you're just going to outline all of the major details of your door hanger. And this is why I said earlier that I wasn't too worried about some of the little imperfections, because I knew this pen was going to cover up a lot of that. It's kind of like adding thick coloring book lines after you're done, and it hides your little imperfections. And I'm really not very good at coloring very straight with these. Sometimes I get kind of messy, so it'll still be cute when we get done. We got a fly in here. Shoe fly. Go around the edge of the wing. let's see, I may use a thinner pen on my flag, but we'll use this thicker pen on all the major parts of the body of the bird. There we go. And then we'll do some right here. This is the bottom of the cheeks. Go around the eye and the cheek. And I'm literally right now just tracing over the etched lines in the design. So you don't have to freehand this. You can just follow right along your etched lines and fill it in. And then we'll go around our eye. Our eyelashes, those are still etched on there as well. I'm going to go both directions around the eye. Go around this eye. Let me pump a little bit more paint down, and then we're going to go back the other direction because I didn't get it covered very good the first time around. And then my eyelashes. And then, oh, I forgot this little area here. Let's see, what else? Now let's go around the hat band. The Posca paint pens sometimes have a hard time getting down in the etched lines. Like if you don't push down just right or get at the right angle, sometimes they have a hard time getting enough paint down in there. So you might even have to go across them twice, or possibly even take a paintbrush and kind of fill those areas in if it's bothering you. There we go. Let me connect these lines here. Take a look. Okay. I smudged it just a little bit right down here too earlier, so I'm going to fix that. Let me get some more navy. I'm just going to dab it on that little spot to cover that up. We still have to do the little dots in his eyes. Let me look at my original picture. If y'all don't mind, I'm going to pull it up real quick because I can remember. Because you know how like when you do the dots in the eyes, sometimes they can look a little cross-eyed. I'm going to try to remember where where we placed them in the original design so that he doesn't look cross-eyed. Let me pull it up so I can, and also it helps me see if we're missing any fun details. Okay, they're on the outsides. So, and we need to use our Posca paint pen to do some more details. So on the Posca paint pens, you can take this is the middle size. Let me pump it down a little bit. Do the outer part line of the eye. This is just a little bit thinner than the jumbo. I'm actually going around it a couple of times if it's not thick enough. Oh, I didn't get that covered very good right there either. Okay, and then we're going to go around our flagpole here. This is the medium size, so this one's a little thinner. I think I said that already, didn't I? And then we'll go around the flag. Add some cute little lines to the flag. Just keeping it kind of whimsical. There we go. All right, I think we've got all of those. And then I'm going to switch to, where did it go? Here it is. The skinniest white tip pen that I have. Okay, we're going to take and we're going to do a little dot on the outer part. It's half on and half off the black. Do like your biggest white dot there. Let's see. Try to look and make sure I get them kind of level. And then we're going to make him even more starstruck looking and do a couple smaller dots along the same line so that his eyes really sparkle. Let me show you up close. So see the little lines in his eyes? Or little dots that go along the line. And then when you hold him back here, it looks like his eyes are sparkling. Okay, I'm going to take this same white paint pen. This is the skinniest one, the smallest fine tip, and we're just going to add some cute little whimsical lines, like along the line of his nose. And we're just going to add some to like the wing tips and all of that, just to kind of make all this stuff kind of stand out a little bit more. Oh, I just noticed a detail that we forgot. Let me get my skinnier paint pen, and we're going to kind of draw these little spots in like this on the wing. There's so many details that unless you like pay attention to the design that you are doing, you'll easily miss those little things. Do a little bit on the tops of our toes. You can use a thicker paint pen for this too if you want, but this skinny one kind of does it allows you to have like a little bit of detail without overpowering the entire design. So we'll do some there. Let's add some to the stars too. Just adding a little bit of white to some of our stars. There we go. And then we can do a little bit on our hat band. Just like that. Okay, I think we're done. Unless, let me look at my picture, see if I'm missing any other details. I don't think so. Looks pretty cute, doesn't he? I'm loving this one. This one's gonna go on my front door pronto. If you guys enjoyed this video, please sprinkle the love so that others can see it, and let us know that you've done so in the comments. Thank you so much. I hope you guys have a great day. Come join me here on Friday at 9:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, and we'll share 5 of my favorite things with you guys. Bye, y'all.